it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to another crafty video. So in today's video, we're going to be working on my submission for MFT's Summer School Session number 2, Day 1, which is monochromatic cards. Now, if you guys are not familiar with MFT's Summer School, head over to their YouTube channel and blog, and there's plenty of information. But essentially what it is there are guest designers for 5 days that spotlight one technique each day, show you either 1 or 2 cards using that technique, and then you're asked to create a card with using that technique. And you can comment, you can do your own submission, you can do the entire 5 days, and there are prizes for all of those things. So it's a great opportunity to win money to MFT, which I spend a ton of my money on, so I'm definitely going to enter. So this is day 1, which is a monochromatic card, and I wanted to show you guys real quick before we get started the supplies that we're going to use. So there's not going to be much stamping in this video. It's mostly going to be dies and stencils. So I'm going to be using these 2 dies here, one of the moms, I'm not sure which one, and then this Miss You that was my free with 60, and this one is just called Mom. And then we're going to use the Geometric Stars, which is a MFT mixable stencil. And then we're going to be using this background stamp that I have here, which is called Marble Background. It's an MFT background stamp. We're going to use Distress Oxides in Worn Lipstick and Picked Raspberry. We're also going to be using MFT's Hybrid Ink in Razzleberry, this bright pink here. We're also going to I also did the card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, a white note card. Then I cut a piece of pink cardstock, which is just Recollections cardstock in hot pink, down to 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base, and then a piece of white cardstock, which again is Recollections white cardstock, down to 1/8 of an inch smaller than the pink piece. So that's it. And I want to get started on the only stamping that we're going to be doing for this piece using the background stamp. So we're going to use MFT's Razzleberry ink. So I have this piece of cardstock here that I've cut down. It's just a scrap piece of cardstock. Now, the one and only thing I don't like about the Tim Holtz Tonic Studio platform is that this part here gets dirty really easily because it's kind of hard to wipe up some of the inks. Like I just inked something up and the pink ink is underneath here. I do have some Norwex cleaning paste, which I'm going to try to use on this to see that. That's one of the only things I don't like with this is that there's no like the Misty has a stamping grid that you can use underneath here. So I may try to figure out something, maybe get like a laminated grid or something for under this. But anyway, I digress. So we're going to start by inking up the background stamp with some MFT Razzleberry Hybrid ink. And I don't need the whole entire thing inked up. But the reason that I have that paper behind it is because I don't want to get my stamping platform too dirty. Now the nice thing about the stamping platform is that you can stamp things over and over again. There are magnets that are associated with it, but since the piece of paper is smaller than the stamp, I don't have them, I put them to the side. So you can see we didn't get a really great impression the first time, so we're going to ink it up again. And because it's in the same exact place, we don't need to worry about double stamping and some of the things you get sometimes with I had an old stamp positioner, which was kind of difficult to use to have everything lined up the exact same way each time. But I do have a couple of stamping tools. I have the Hampton Art Stamp Perfect, I have the Tonic Studio Stamp Platform, and I also have the Misty. There's no need to have all 3 of them. I just got a really good deal on this and on the Hampton Arts one. And my goddaughter got me the Misty for Christmas one year, so, which I absolutely love. That was the first one that I got, was the Misty. So, again, you can do this 2 or 3 times. This is the first time I've used this background stamp, so that's probably why it's taking so long. And I'm trying not to push too hard on here because I don't want the camera to shake too much. It's sitting on the edge of the desk, so don't want it to shake, but trying to get a good impression here. So probably do 1 more stamping. This is probably way more than you would normally need if you were putting the normal amount of pressure on this. And sometimes I find that the stamp platform is not, I don't know if it's not cushy enough in the middle or what the deal is, but I don't find I get as great of an impression with this one as I do with using like a Misty or my Stamp Perfect. So my Misty, I can do these stamps in here. The mini Misty, you can't do the background stamps because they're too large, but this one you can. So I think this is pretty good. I think it just has kind of like a, it's not perfect, but that's fine. It's not the look. Perfection is not the look I was going for. Okay. Excuse me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the background that I had, the background piece, and we're going to ink over it with the star stencil. So I'm just going to place it down, and sometimes I was kind of thinking maybe I wanted to do an ombre look, or did I want, like I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I don't want to do that. I kind of am just going to go around and randomly ink up parts of the stencil with so that's Worn Lipstick, and then this is Picked Raspberry. So I'm just gonna kind of go around, and so that it's not just, like it's not in an ombre pattern. I kind of just want it to be very random. If I had another pink Distress Oxide, I would definitely use that. I think this would probably be better with 3 different colors. I love the Distress Oxides. I think that they go on super smoothly, and they're much easier. I find that they're much easier to blend than traditional Distress inks. So I don't find that you get that circle, even with the regular foam, these foams instead of the regular foams. With regular distress inks, I feel like I get some of the, like the mark of the pad on there sometimes. But with the Distress Oxides, I don't find that, and I find that they blend very, very smoothly, and they go on really, really smoothly. Just gonna kind of go over some of this and go back. Okay, so that was really, really quick inking. This card is not going to take very long. It's not going to be super complicated to do. So let's take the stencil off and let's look at the background. So pretty. And I think it gives it such an amazing look. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually spray this with some water and it would give an oxidized look. So I'm trying to see if I have my water bottle on hand, and I do. So we are going to mist it, and we're going to see. We're just going to give it some, and it gives it like an oxidized look. It gives it like kind of, I don't want to lose too much of the pattern, but I just wanted to do just a little bit of, just get it a little bit wet. So I'm trying not to lose the pattern in this, and I did a little bit at the top here, or the bottom. It kind of blended. I put a little bit too much water on there. I didn't want to lose the shapes, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside to dry just a little bit. Put it up here, and then we're going to start to work on this. I didn't realize that this was actually that dark. I'm kind of surprised that that was actually that dark. But, so, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these dies out, and you could leave them together. I just don't think that if I leave them together, I'll have enough room. Let's see. I might. So I don't know if I have to put the Miss You long ways or not. No, it actually will work. So I can cut this out so I can have extra for another card. So this is not exactly the color that I was thinking it was going to be, but it's okay. I'm not really sure because that doesn't really look like, I don't know, to me that doesn't really look, well, I guess it kind of does look like the same color. I thought that it was going to be a brighter pink than that. The lids kind of throw you off with MFT. It's not true to the color. Whereas like the Distress Oxides, I feel like they're a little bit more true to the color of the actual ink inside of it. So I probably should have, usually what I'll do is I'll take the washi tape and I'll put it on my hand to kind of take a little bit of the stickiness off of it. I didn't do that with the first one, which I probably should have done, but that's okay. It may stick to the paper a little bit. So now we're going to take the Cuttlebug, let's see here, and we're going to put, I have a Genius platform that I use. This doesn't go with the Cuttlebug. This was, I don't remember what, this was Lifestyle Crafts, but I use it all the time, and I don't know that they make this anymore. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I love it. I do have the Gemini Junior, and I just have not used it, which is killing me because I've had it for a couple of months, and I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. I have to actually plug it in. I have not done that. Okay. All right. So I ran that through the Cuttlebug, and it should have cut everything out. It did. Now, they're stuck because there's glue on the back. Just be careful if you do that. I have had stuff stick to there, and it was really, really difficult to get off. So, here are the dies, and it looks like it's all coming out. Okay. So, let's start assembling the card. And then the card top is over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this to the side still, let that dry a little bit more. We're going to put the pink card base down. Now, I don't, some people like to stamp their sentiments when they make their cards. I don't. I like to have them on hand, and then if I need them for something specific, I will do I'll do a sentiment after the fact. I don't like doing it beforehand. I don't know why. It's just something that I don't really like doing. Okay. So this is drying. It's still a little bit wet, but we'll go with it. And this, if you don't know what this is an ATG. It's called Advanced Tape Glider. I got it from AC Moore, I believe, and I had two of them. I don't know what happened to the other one. I have one that has acid, that one is acid free, so you can use it for pictures, and then I have one that is just regular, like that I would normally use for cards. I can't find that one. Don't know what happened to it. I used it at a craft show, and I don't know if I ever brought it home. I think I did. It's got to be somewhere around here. My craft room's a disaster, so. Oops. All right, so then we're going to use this tool to start poking the letters out of here. This is probably the worst part of die cutting, is that the letters don't always come out. Okay. So this did not exactly have the effect that I thought it would. It's really funny, actually. Can you, I don't know if you can see in there, see the ink transferred over into it. So this is not exactly the card that I thought it was going to be, but this is what happens, and you just go with it. So I don't know if I'm even going to use the Miss You because I think it's not bold enough. I might actually just use the Mom in the capital letters. And what's nice about this is they're not connected, so you can use the capital M and then the lower O and M. There's also a Dad die set. I don't know why these aren't coming out. Yeah, the pattern's definitely bolder on this one. And this is what happens. I often try things out and I realize, oh, I don't really like it, or that didn't turn out how I thought it was going to turn out. And And this one definitely is one of those ones that did not turn out how I thought it was going to. And I'm not totally crazy in love with the way that this is turning out. I like the background, but I'm not sure if I like the, like, I think Mom is just a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much for this. So what I think I'm going to do is just actually cut out Mom from the pink cardstock that was in the back. I think I should have some extra. I have some extra pieces. So I'm just going to put this down onto the cardstock, and we're going to do this. This is what happens. This is real life card making. When you decide to change your mind halfway through the card making process. This is how I have an idea in my mind, and then it doesn't turn out the exact way that I thought it would, and so we improvise. So it's still going to be monochromatic because it will be the same pink as the back, and I think it'll go a little bit better. I think that's the problem. I think that's part of the problem, is that pink looks more red compared to these other pinks, and I think that's part of the issue. Yeah, that's good. Now, what you could do is ink up these the letters and actually kind of do more of an ombre, which is actually another day's technique. But you could do something like that to create a little bit of an ombre situation. Let's take this out. I apologize for this. This is not, this was not the scheduled plan. But, okay. So then, I'm just going to glue the Mom on here. And we'll go from there. Like I said, I'm not really too keen on the bottom, how the bottom came out. I think I put a little bit too much water on it. I wanted the oxidized effect, but I didn't want that much water on it. And then usually what I would do is put something heavy on top of it, usually a stamping block on top of this for a couple of seconds until the glue sets, and make sure that it sticks down. And there is the card. This is the ombre card, or not, I'm sorry, not ombre. This is the monochromatic card. It's just all pink with just a little bit of white. And that's it. That's it for day one of MFT's summer school. If you guys are interested in creating your own cards, head over to MFT's YouTube channel and blog, and there will be on the blog there's a link to show you where you can post your card, and then on YouTube you can watch the video to show you how to create you can see the version of the monochromatic card that they did. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. And I'll be back again real soon with another video. Bye!